Broadcasting from Silicon Valley, California, this is Conversations with Jennylyn.
You're watching Conversations with Jennylyn, and I am continuing my series on COVID-19, doing interviews around the world, speaking with people in different countries, while they share with us what is happening where they live and how people are being affected by this virus. And this afternoon, my guests are Burt and Deanne, and I'm speaking to them, Burt and Deanne Marcellini, and they are in Trinidad and Tobago. And I cannot wait to share what's happening in Trinidad through them. So Burt, welcome to Conversations with Jennylyn.
Hi, thanks. Good evening.
Well, thanks for taking the time to do this. So tell me, what's going on in Trinidad right now? How is this virus affecting Trinidad?
Okay, in terms of our numbers, we have 97 positive cases. We have 6 deaths, and 1 person has been discharged from hospital. Out of that 97, there was citizens that was on a cruise, and 49 of them came back positive. So that made up the big numbers and jumping to 97. Deanna and myself was out of the country from around the 8th of March. We went to a conference out in Vegas. We came back in 2 Fridays back. On the 20th, we were back in. We've been inside since. We've been on home quarantine.
Is it mandatory, or have you chosen to just quarantine yourself? Is it the law in Trinidad to quarantine?
Yeah. When we came in, the government put some implementations, and everyone who traveled had to be 14 days self-quarantine. If any symptoms show, then you go get tested. Today's our last quarantine day, and we were fine. We're fine. We were out in Vegas and we were out in Florida, and we were extremely careful. Trying not to touch surfaces, and yeah. But back in Trinidad here, the vibe is a quiet vibe. We've been trying to contain it, so all borders are closed, no flights going in or coming out. We don't have assembling of people, just maximum of 5 people at any place, funerals or restaurants, maximum 5. The banks are open, maximum 5 at a time in the banks. The supermarkets have limitations in terms of how they control this, so we've been trying not to spike that number of 97 and try to contain it. However, within the last 2 weeks, we had a returning residents of 19,000. So last weekend and this weekend here, if there's any spike in terms of more cases, we will see this weekend. If that is under control, I think we are a good place. If there's not a big spike in numbers, we will have it under control. So we've been all the media here in Trinidad on TV, on newspapers, on the radio. Friends who've been calling, they're just begging people not to assemble in groups. Please stay inside. That's the message, and I think people are abiding, and I think we'll be a good place, but we'll know that for sure at the end of this weekend.
You're shaking a little bit. Are you on a chair?
Yes, I am. I am on a rocker.
Okay. You're on a rocker.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'm on a rocker.
Really shaking. Okay. I lived in Trinidad, and I know how hard it is to control people, because a lot of times people don't understand the seriousness of this. Do you get the feeling that people are taking this seriously?
Well, as I said, the whole mission, the whole vibe right now is telling people to stay inside. But we had people that wasn't following. Like, there was a church that was inviting people to come out. I think that ended up locking up the pastor. We had other issues of people going by the rivers and by the beaches and stuff. So today, just the last news there at 4 o'clock, they were saying if anyone found at the rivers or the beaches, it's going to be a heavy fine. I think it's a $50,000 fine. So I think other than that, what we've been seeing on the media in terms of major spaces, major alignment spots, it's on a low. I think people are healing to it. As I said, I haven't been outside for the last 2 weeks, but I've been out in my yard and looking at the roads, and it's totally dead. No one outside really. So the majority of people are healing the cause.
It sounds like compared to many other places in the world, like you guys have it pretty much under control.
Yeah. Because last 2 weeks we were out by we were close to Miami Beach and Fort Lauderdale Beach, and the numbers are high, and talking about hundreds of people out there, and we don't have that here. People they're obliged with the cause to stay indoors.
So I know you're a famous musician.
Yep.
How, a very famous Trinidadian musician. How is this affecting Carnival just ended. So if this virus is affecting Trinidad, the timing is perfect, right? Because all the celebrations are over now.
Right. But the season is finished in February. And when Carnival is finished, you get hired to do carnivals around the world. And there were bookings by a lot of artists that are self-employed, that do music alone, that have confirmed jobs all over the world, and it's canceled. Everybody is on cancellation mode. Yeah.
Wow. So this is really affecting everyone.
Yeah, it is.
The virus does not discriminate. It's hitting everybody in its path.
Yeah. Even businesses, a lot of businesses have to curtail what they do, and it's like a shutdown right now, So there's a lot of thought to go into the future. What's the next step? How to manage, money management and thinking of where to go in terms of jobs and stuff like that. So I think people have a little time to meditate and really plan next 3-4 months,
How long do you predict you possibly are going to be on lockdown in Trinidad?
Well, the real lockdown started probably 2.5 weeks last week, and within last week they really hyped that in terms of telling everyone that you must stay indoors. And as I said today, they were seeing people who go by the beaches and the rivers. I think they're going to charge you $50,000 fine or imprisonment. So I think if we by the end of this week we have the numbers, okay, I predict probably next 2 months we should start lifting and it coming out of it gradually. That is my prediction.
Okay. So I was in Trinidad last year around this time, and I interviewed the mayor of Port of Spain. And the concern at the time in Trinidad is the crime rate. It was really escalating and it was sort of out of control. And he told me during that interview that they had imported help from England to try to help control the crime scene. Do you feel like this virus is going to help?
Well, strangely, since this virus thing came about, the crime has dropped tremendously, almost to now, so people respect it.
I'm telling you, this virus is something else. I mean, it's so unprecedented, but at the same time, if you really look at it, it doesn't discriminate. It's not prejudiced.
No, it isn't. No respect for no one.
Or a queen, it's just hitting everybody in its path, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Do you feel like your hospitals are equipped? God forbid your numbers start escalating. Do you feel the hospitals in Trinidad are equipped to deal with the cases?
Well, we have a press conference daily, twice daily, from the Minister of Health and Minister of National Security. And where it is right now, they're handling it, they're capable of having it under control. And they've been begging people to stay indoors so we don't escalate. I don't know. It will be challenging if the numbers go very high, you know, how they'll handle it. But what they've put in place so far have been working fine.
I've always been impressed with the Trinidadian government and the way they do things. I mean, I know you have a crime problem, but your government always used to have great plans and organized ways of doing things. When I was interviewing your mayor, we talked about the influx of Venezuelans that you had coming into Trinidad, and they were really handling it in a humanitarian, orderly manner. So I'm not surprised that you are probably well equipped to handle this virus and the possible casualties. But the thing that that I think Trinidad also has going for it, I read where they say the virus doesn't live as long in certain temperatures. And Trinidad is a hot country. It's very. Do you think that is helping to control the spread?
Repeat that last question.
I said, do you think the fact that Trinidad is so hot, do you feel that is helping to control the spread?
Well, it's difficult to answer that because we've been getting different theories from different parts of the world. Everybody's giving you different answers. I heard about the heat, the temperatures, but out in Miami, it was hot also, and it's spreading really. I mean,
okay.
I've heard about the heat, but I experienced the same kind of heat that we have here out in Florida, and the numbers are high. You know.
Okay.
So I don't know. You know, what proof that Perry has on it. You know, I don't know how factual that is.
So, how many people have died? You told me in the beginning. To date, how many people have died because of corona?
Yeah, the stats we have tested 97 cases positive, 6 deaths, and out of the 97, 1 person has been discharged.
So you guys haven't had a lot of deaths from this. Do they have any idea of how many contaminated cases? I know it's difficult everywhere to really give an accurate count because sometimes people have the virus and they don't show the symptoms, so they don't go to get tested. But it doesn't sound like you have a lot of reported cases of contamination.
No, it's the actual number I don't have is like close to 700 tested. 600 and something is tested. So far, 97 cases positive. That's what the stats as today is. Yeah.
What are the requirements to get tested in Trinidad? What are they telling people? Like if you have blah, 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 blah symptoms, you need to come and be tested?
Okay, like as I said, we just came back 2 weeks ago, and we self-quarantined for 14 days. At the end of the 14 days, after 2 weeks, is when you should get like but it's headaches, a cold, chest pains. If you get any of these symptoms, to go get tested. High fever, go on again.
And you haven't had any of those symptoms?
Pardon me?
You guys have not exhibited any of those symptoms?
No, we're fine.
And of the people who died, do you know how many of them were elderly? And do you know their age groups?
All elderly.
All elderly. So this is what they're saying, that these usually are the casualties, are the older people. Younger people probably are able to resist and fight it better.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Deanne.
No. Okay, move your food.
Yes, Jenny, I'm eating.
Oh, you're eating. Okay, well, then I'll just have to continue with Bert.
Yes, do. Please do.
Okay. So Bert, what do you think is going to happen to your band members now if this was their source of income? The events that you had booked that have now been canceled. What are you guys planning to do?
But fortunately for my band, 98% of my band permanently employed elsewhere. You know, engagements at the end of September, at the end of August, we were supposed to have been in Boston. Then Labor Day in New York. July, Grenada. July also, Canada. So I have no idea if I've been talking to one or two of the promoters out there, and most likely they will be cancelled. But it's up in the air right now. You know, everybody is a wait and see. But we know it's, you know, it will be cancelled. I doubt especially in the US that they will have that mingling as early as August. You know, so there's some disappointment, but we just probably look at next year being a good year. Yeah, but in terms of the musicians, my musicians are employed, you know, elsewhere. They professionals, teachers, servicemen.
But it sounds
You know.
like every single field is being affected now, because in the United States where I am, all the schools, everything is shut down, I think, except for like the grocery stores and doctors' offices and stuff.
Yeah.
How are people surviving? How is the government helping people on this lockdown at this time? Do they have any programs in place to help them?
Yeah, they have put some stuff in place in terms of people to apply for a grant, and they will help with in terms of pardon some areas. Yeah, to pay rents on to pay rents on food and bank loans, bank facilities. The banks have been very courteous. They have put some things in place. If you want, you can contact them and they will waive your installments for 6 months.
Okay, got it.
So
That's
people
great.
taking advantage. Yeah,
That's
and
wonderful.
they can't demand it, but they've been asking like landlords and for residential or commercial to waive rents. You know, they've been asking people to be courteous and probably give like a month or two, you know, without paying. But that's not a demand. That's just a request. So it's up to the individuals.
Wow. So have you guys had a lot of food shortages? Do you have the toilet paper scramble, I call it, like we had here in the US?
But we had it 2 ways, because we went in before coming here, things like Lysol and things like hand sanitizers and masks. We thought we would have gotten it in the US to bring home. And we went to Walmart, we went to Sam's, we went to Costco's, and we couldn't get it anyway. But apparently here is not bad. We've been able to get everything except hand sanitizers. So what you found is the small businessmen have been doing hand sanitizers. Of course, the price have been stepped up, but we've been able to get all food stuff, no shortages. You're getting everything.
That is so wonderful. Well, I'm really happy to hear that, and I hope, because you guys are the second in my series that I've just started, I am hoping as I go around the world and do these interviews that every country has a favorable story like yours regarding how this is how the governments are helping the people of the various countries. I mean, we all know what's going on in Italy. That Italy is such a sad story. I'm just hoping that that's not going to happen in the Caribbean or any other country. Hopefully, by the time it starts getting around, they'll have better systems in place to help control, and that people are going to learn from what's happening in countries like Italy and take it seriously. What
Yeah.
message do you have for my viewers before we wrap up?
Viewers around the world, please adhere and stay indoors. Stay indoors, don't mingle, and you know the new saying: keep your hands off your face. Don't touch surfaces. If you cough, use a rag. And just stay indoors. Stay indoors. Safest thing, stay indoors.
Thank you so much, Burt. I always ask my guests before I wrap up if there was anything I didn't ask them that I want people to know. Is there anything I didn't ask you about Trinidad that you want people to know?
Yeah, no, I think we covered most of it. Trinidad is being responsible, and if we stay on that path, we should be in a safe place. Around the Caribbean too, the numbers are not high, you know, so it's not as, I think we have one of the highest rates right now. Correct idea? So I think we manage.
Your country is the highest in the Caribbean?
I think we're one of the highest numbers. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Jamaica, I think about Jamaica might be higher than us, but the numbers are not outrageous. You know, we all trying to have that control, and we trying to just preach to our brothers and sisters to be responsible, stay inside, don't mingle. I think that's the vision that we all trying to partner with. Stay indoors, don't mingle, you know. And as I said, if by this weekend here the numbers don't spike too high, we should be okay.
Well, thank you so much to you and Deanne. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties we had earlier, but it turned out great. And I can't wait to share your, the information you've given me with other people so they can learn what is going on in Trinidad outside of mainstream media. You guys stay safe, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that your numbers don't spike and that they just level up and you're able to contain this before it goes out of control.
All right, thanks.
And thank you all for watching the Jennylyn Show. Formerly Jennylyn Show, Conversations with Jennylyn, and hopefully Burt has shared something with you that you can apply to your life in this situation.
Okay,
thank you. Thank you so much.
God bless and keep safe.
God bless you guys too. We'll be in touch. Bye-bye.